Hello and welcome to the news today. You're here with Amy Louise Fordham. I'm currently in flat 47 in the University of Northampton, William Carey. I'm going to talk to a few students that live here in this flat about the recession and the economy and how it's affected the students with their student finance today.
Because I've been at university now since September and I haven't received a single penny from my student loan company. So, and they basically are messing me around.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had a chance to think about my finances or anything because I haven't had any finance to think about.
Really? So where has your money sort of been coming from then?
Well, I've been given like a weekly allowance off my dad. So he's given me the equivalent of what we're allowed to spend, which is £10 a day.
Okay.
So he's giving me £70 a week. And then when my student loan does eventually come through, and when it comes through, I've got to pay him back.
Yeah.
And then it's not that good because I feel as if it's sort of starting to affect my work a little bit because I'm thinking about it too much.
I'm worrying.
I'm worrying that I've got no money, and I keep getting letters off the uni saying that I owe them rent. And for example, I had a letter the other day that said that if I didn't pay the rent soon, like they're not going to accept me or they're not going to let me on to my next year. So obviously, I'm having student living's the best. I've had the best time of my life since I've been here since September, and I wouldn't have changed anything for the world.
And the recession hasn't affected you greatly.
No, it hasn't.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know, I feel slightly unqualified to talk about credit crunch seeing as I'm one of the least affected people by it. I mean, at the time when it hit, in I think it was 2008, late 2008 wasn't it, October, November, I mean, I felt that I wasn't in much of a weak position anyway. I didn't have a house, so I wasn't going to lose any money on property, and my job was part-time and I was at college at the time, so it didn't really make much of a difference to me. I mean, obviously I've been careful with my money. Ouch. But for a person such as myself, I feel that we've only to gain from the recession, because obviously no one can afford to keep their nice cars anymore, so they're selling them cheap, which means we can jump on there and get cheap cars that are nice.
Yes, positive view. So
my leisure activities haven't changed much. I mean, I've always been quite stingy, so I'll only go out and do something when I can afford it anyway. Like, I'll put aside that money ready for it.
yeah.
So smoking, I'll try and cut down if I can't afford to smoke, I'll just stop smoking.
Okay, so it hasn't affected you greatly then?
I haven't felt much of a problem really. Like, yeah, I've just been getting on. And it does help, like, the leisure activities. If you find it's too expensive to go out, I sit here and do some work. Like, with the student loan in particular, I've spent before so the necessities such as rent and I've tried to take all of that aside first, and then I'm left with absolutely what I can get away with, food and stuff. So I try and buy in bulk, it makes it easier to understand how far you can go.
Everyone seems to think it's a new occurrence, whereas it's actually built into the economic system, basically. I mean, Gordon Brown a while ago said that the whole boom and bust sort of aspects to the economy are over, but clearly not.
No.
And so it doesn't really surprise me. And it doesn't really affect me, to be honest, because I'm too young. It mainly affects house prices and inflation, but apart from that.
What is?
Well, as I say, it really hasn't. So because I've got a student loan and all the rest of it, I don't have house sort of prices to worry about and all the rest of the things to go with it. Generally, it's just the price of beer that's been affected.
I used to read a lot of comic books, which I didn't need to read, and it didn't help with my course or anything. Like Spider-Man and the Hulk and She-Hulk. That's a personal favourite line. She was a girl. But I had to cut that out. Just to cut out any unnecessary spending.
Right.
Like I don't buy. If I got a hole in my socks, I wouldn't buy a new pair, whereas I would have used to. I'd sew it up, or I'd get a girl in my flat to sew it up, because girls are better at that sort of thing.
Yeah. So as a conclusion of the news tonight, we have found out, talking to all of these students in University of Northampton, that the finance, the economy and the bad state that our country is in really does not affect these students, which is a great conclusion, to be honest.